What piqued my interest about researching and examining natural beauty was the fact I noticed that it's a lived reality, not only for myself, but for many of my Black female scholarly counterparts. These are discussions and conversations we would have at various conferences, such as the African Studies Association conference, particularly when we're wearing our African attire and so on. We would have these different conversations about what does beauty mean? What does it mean to be natural? Are you natural if you wear a weave? Are you natural if you wear makeup or a wig? So these are everyday conversations that we would be having with each other at conferences and also at various social settings. So my particular article about natural beauty in metropolitan Cameroon to the 1960s is something that I never really looked for when I was doing archival research. And so what ended up happening is, as I'm having these conversations with my friends and with my colleagues about what natural Black beauty means, I would end up seeing many of these conversations occurring within the primary sources. As I read through these articles and put them together, there were several findings that I found really fascinating, and one of them being Nada Mustafa Ali's work, in which she analyzes these girls, women, Oni Facebook groups, and these conversations they're having about beauty products and medical products, and how these conversations also play out within the larger political spaces, particularly during November 2016. Barbara Cooper's work also surprised me, the ways in which bearing the umbilical cord does not mean that the way that the umbilical cord is buried is an extension of a woman's bodily practices. So it's not just buried and then just left alone and women walk away. Women strongly believe that bearing the umbilical cord means that they still have these bodily and spiritual connections to something that used to be a part of their bodies. I see this forum interacting with a larger ASR audience in the fact that ASR is very much a multidisciplinary journal, and all of the contributing scholars all draw from multi-disciplines in their own works. The most striking image for me was actually Catherine Wiley's image. There's an image that she has of a woman wearing the malafa, and it's all white. And the image, when you take a look at it, really says much about how women navigate these various social spaces, how they express agency. And just looking at the image, you might just think, oh, this is a woman just wearing a veil, and she's constricted in her movement. But actually beneath that veil, there's different ways in which women can express agency and renegotiate social hierarchies. Using color images was important because it's one thing to be reading about women's bodily constructions and aesthetic rituals and to be describing these varied practices, and it's another thing to be able to visually see them. So it was really important in our forum to have both color images and also black and white images, to be able to draw the audience more, but to also engage with the audience in these intellectual discourses in varied ways.